they just came out with a new Alani flavor, the sherbet swirl, which by the way is so good, and I feel like that means it's time for a 24-hour readathon, or at least in my mind that was like the first thing I thought of, and I'm so excited to crack this bad boy open and start reading. Honestly, I've just been like on the go for the last few weeks, just going. So I just wanted to like sit down and read as much as possible, binge read through a few books, and I honestly just like love binge reading. It's my favorite kind, and I feel like after doing 24s, I actually end up wanting to read more and more because I get in the flow and I like hyper focus. Thank you, ADHD. And I will just like completely be in the reading zone. So this is just such a good way to kick things off for myself. And I'm also going to be doing this with a little bit of a twist because I love incorporating spinner wheels or TBR prompts, or honestly just anything that kind of makes things a game, makes it a challenge. I will do it at any chance that I get because I just think it's so fun and it makes me excited to pick up my books and then be able to like spin the wheel again or pick a new prompt, and it just kind of motivates me to keep the momentum going. So that's exactly what we're going to be doing because I have my handy dandy spinner wheel right here and it has a ton of different prompts. I'm actually really excited because I have a new series that I'm going to be starting very soon. I actually have been planning this for so long, I can't even tell you, and me and my husband finally kind of came up with some really good ideas for it. Thank you, because he really like pushed it over the edge because I didn't know how I wanted to do this video idea, so he really helped push it together. Anyways, separate video, we'll talk about that later, but either way, I'm excited to use this spinner wheel. We have some prompts here, and what I thought would be fun also is as we complete a prompt, we erase it and maybe replace it with like a new prompt, so things are ever changing, which will make it even more fun. If I absolutely love this, this might even have to be like a series on my channel where I do 24s this way, because I think it would just be so fun and also motivate me to do 24s more because I genuinely love doing them. It's one of my favorite videos to do, but it's like finding that perfect time, which there really never is. So welcome to the chaos, welcome to the spinner wheel and all the crazy reading that we're going to be doing, and let's find out what our destiny is going to be, because the spinner wheel knows, but I'm still yet to find out. So let's begin this journey and spin. Actually, wait. Of course, we need our energy to spin the wheel because it's just so hard, you know? Perfect. That one is so good. I feel like every time they come out with a new flavor, I keep having like new favorites, and I don't even know what my favorite is anymore, but that one is good. And I feel like it's gonna be the most perfect summer flavor. I'm really excited to crack one of those bad boys open this summer when it's like really hot and maybe I'll be reading at the park or whatever. I'm very excited, but let's spin the wheel and find out what our first book is gonna be, and then we can start the timer. Ooh, okay, so we have grab a prompt. So that means that I'm gonna grab my little TBR mug that I use for my TBR videos, and we're just gonna grab a random prompt and then we'll pick a book based on that prompt. Okay, here we go. It says book with a playlist. Okay, actually that's so fun. I feel like I have quite a few books on my radar that I'm really excited to get to that all have playlists. So I'm gonna sort through them and then we will pick our first book for the 24-hour readathon. I'm honestly so excited to get started reading, and I'm also excited to figure out what we're gonna be starting with. I am honestly so incredibly torn. I have two books that I'm trying to decide between, and they're so vastly different and vibes, but I am really excited. I think for one a little bit more than the other, and you would think then, okay, like pick that one, but here, let me explain. So the first one is the Cinnamon Bun Bookstore, and the reason I want to pick this one up is because I feel like it's such a fast read. It's going to be cozy, it's going to be fun, it's going to be light, and it will get some really good momentum going to knock off another book. And then also I want to spin the wheel again like as soon as possible. I'm like, can I spin it again like now? So I definitely want to read something that is going to just like keep things rolling. So that is why I kind of want to pick up this one. Plus I've heard, even though it looks super fall, sneakily enough the inner pages are more like spring summer, I believe. I don't know. We'll find out if I pick this up. But either way, the second book that I really want to read, and this is the one I want to read a little bit more, a lot more actually, is Nocticadia by Carrie Lake. I'm so excited for this one. This sounds like my perfect book. However, it is so chunky and I will not get the same momentum going that I would with this one. And I still want to try to pick this up in this video. If I don't, stay tuned because I will definitely pick this up in like a video very soon. I kind of have some other plans that I could squeeze this into, so I'm not too worried about picking this up as soon as possible, especially with how excited I am to read this, just simply because the synopsis sounds amazing. I've heard incredible things. It seems like such a me book, a definitely Maddie coded book, if you will, so I definitely will be picking this up as soon as possible. I think through talking to you, I did come to a resolution. I think I need to pick up the Cinnamon Bun bookstore. I am really excited to pick this one up as well, especially because the Strawberry Patch Pancake House, I believe it's called, just came out, and I want to read that potentially next month or the end of this month. So we gotta get through the series, and I didn't end up picking these up around like the fall Christmas time, but I don't even care. Like, I'm just gonna read through the series. I'm gonna get to the Strawberry House Pancake. Wow, I got it right, and then I completely fumbled. Either way, the book I just mentioned, I want to get to that one, and I know that there's another book I believe either coming out later this year or sometime next year. I think it's this year. But either way, I want to make my way and be caught up in this series, and this is such an easy series to catch up in. So this is the one that I'm going to start with. It seems like it's going to be so fun. So this is definitely the one I'm going to start with. So let's grab our timer, get that clock rolling, and get this party started. I'm honestly so excited to binge read. It's going to be perfect. So this book is indeed set in summer, so definitely not a fall read. It's set, I believe, in July, because she talks about her birthday being September 28th. She's about to turn 30, and she says this is a couple months before her 30th birthday, so that would put her about at the end of July, because she's also talking about setting out August beach reads in the bookshop out on the floor. So I'm assuming she's like getting ready for the beginning of August if it's a couple months before and not like a month before. Anyways, cracking the code for real, you know, because it's so hard to figure out. But either way, it's set in July, and I'm honestly really intrigued about picking this one up at this time because I literally just turned 30. And so I think it's going to be really fun about reading about someone who's like almost the exact same age as me. So I'm honestly really excited about that, to read about somebody who's the same age as me, because I feel like either protagonists are a lot younger or they're a lot older than me, and I'm kind of in that middle space. So it's kind of nice to have a book centered around a 30-year-olds, essentially 29 turning 30-year-olds, which is exactly where I was just at. So that's amazing, and I'm excited to continue reading this. Such a small thing, but I just wanted to come on and share that because that was kind of fun. I don't think it's exactly going there, but there was a moment where I'm like, is there gonna be like a little Dash and Lily situation going on? Because that would be so fun. Like, obviously, I can tell it's gonna be done completely different if that is the case. But someone highlighted something in one of her books and she flips it open and sees the markings. Either that or is it like a sign from the universe? And she's like seeing these markings and she's like, you know what? I need to do something different from now on. I don't know, but I'm very excited, and it's really interesting who walks in the door right after she reads that and is kind of like peeking over her shoulder trying to see what's going on. I'm excited to see where this goes. I could totally be just like going off the rails with my idea of what even is going on because I literally have only read a couple pages, but either way, I think it's going to be fun. It's almost time to spin the wheel again, and I could not be more excited, but I did want to quickly update you on where I'm at with my reading before we pick out our next book. So I did finish The Cinnamon Bun Bookstore. This took me about 3 hours and 22 minutes, and I thought this was so cute. Most of my annotations are for like cute and cozy moments, but I also put like atmospheric moments and a couple like relatable moments. There wasn't like a ton, but there was a couple things just because of where she's at age-wise and the fact that she's transitioning from being like 29 to 30. There was a couple thoughts that she had that I was like, okay, that's kind of relatable, especially in this one moment where she says she couldn't go back and change the past and she didn't want to, not really, but in the months leading up to her birthday she wanted to step outside herself, to let go, to be young and fun and 20 something before it was too late. And I definitely could relate to that because I feel like right before I turned 32 I really started reflecting on so many things and just like wanting to focus on living. I mean, I've always wanted to, and I've always thought about that, and trying to be present as much as I can and enjoy every moment for what it is and know that life is precious and those moments are precious. But I definitely think there are times in your life where you hone in on that a little bit more than other times, and I definitely think the transition from just turning 30 right now, I did reflect on that a little bit more heavily than normal. So I definitely related to that, and I thought that was fun. I really liked that Hazel pushed herself out of her comfort zone and that Noah was able to get her to try new things and explore and conquer certain fears that she had, or just have her live in the most cozy ways. Like, they weren't doing anything that was super crazy or out there, but it was just the fact that she was starting to become comfortable in her own skin and being able to step out of her shell, and I really appreciate that. And I feel like they did that for each other in different ways. I think one of the things that was a little bit annoying was how much Noah harped on like, I want her and she's different and I know she's different from like day one, because this was definitely Insta, but at the same time I felt a little half-assed because he knew, like, and you could just feel it and see it, and he just wasn't owning it, and that was kind of frustrating. But neither was Hazel in her own way. Like, she was definitely keeping her guard up, stepping back, not being true to what she was feeling as well, but I think that's something that they explored together. So little bit of a gripe, but not anything crazy. It definitely happens, and honestly that happens in real life too sometimes. And some people just really process through things differently. I'm definitely like a blunt person, so I'm like, no, this is how I feel, this is what I want, you in, you're out. But I know that not everyone is like that, and everyone processes things at different speeds, and that's reality too. So I think all sorts of love happen, and so I just definitely appreciate it for what it was, and I thought it was very cute. Like I said, I really enjoyed the aspects of the quirky town. I thought there was a lot of cozy moments, and she does a great job of making you feel like you're in certain moments. Like the way that she described the ocean, I could hear the sounds, I could imagine myself being at the ocean. And then on top of it, when she described like the cinnamon buns in the bookstore every Sunday, I could taste them and I was craving a cinnamon bun hardcore. So I did really love that aspect of the book as well. And then because I did end up listening to the audiobook, and I totally got distracted because I was just doing a lot yesterday while I was reading, so I got very sidetracked and I missed certain chunks of the book. So then I went back, I paused the timer, so I didn't count it as part of my time because I did reread certain things, and so I just like paused the timer and reread a few chapters and went back and like annotated it because I really wanted to annotate this book, and I didn't want to like save it for later and have to go back. But I was just like really distracted at one point yesterday, so I did that. So that took up a little bit more of my time last night than I wanted. So by the time I needed to pick up a next book, it was really late, so I thought I would just knock off another book that I had started but hadn't quite finished. So I did end up finishing Don't Let the Forest In. Also, I just wanted to know where this was going, and I didn't want to put it off another second, so I did throw in a little freebie for myself. And I will say this book I think is going to be like a 4.25, maybe even a 4.5. I'm not really sure because the writing is so exquisite in this story. So this is about Andrew and Thomas, and Thomas is drawing pictures for Andrew's story. And what I love about this book too is you get little sections where Andrew's story is in the book, and then you also get sections where you see some of Thomas's drawings for the story, but these monsters that Thomas is drawing for his story are coming to life in the forest. So Andrew and Thomas are like going out at night trying to keep these monsters from going into the school, and I love the school setting. I think school settings are so fun. So here's an example of like one of the creepy pictures. They're definitely spooky, eerie, and I just really enjoyed the writing. Like it was gorgeous. Let me just read you the first line of the story because I don't want to spoil anything. It hadn't hurt the day he had cut out his own heart. Andrew had written about it later in spidery lines from a sharp pen. A story about a boy who took a knife to his chest and carved himself open, showing ribs like mossy tree roots, his heart a bruised and wretched thing beneath. Like what? That is so stunning. I love the way this author wrote throughout the entire story, and I definitely have to go back and annotate some of those lines because they are stunning, gorgeous, and definitely was one of my favorite parts of the story. But also the ending, like there was something that I thought was gonna come up and it did, but then something else came like shortly after that was completely unexpected, and I just really liked how everything wrapped up. I think the ending was really good, and I just enjoyed the vibes of this story. It was very dark, eerie, angsty. It was very angsty, I will say that. Like definitely go into this expecting a lot of angst, but this is YA, I believe, so that makes a lot of sense. But either way, I really enjoyed it. This was a really good one, and I'm excited to spin the wheel and pick my next read. Okay, now for my favorite part. Let's spin the wheel. I'm so excited. I cannot wait. I actually did I change it? I didn't change it. Let me quickly grab a prompt and erase it, and I think I'm gonna put like TBR card because I have my husband's TBR cards that he draws for me, so I think I'm gonna put that one as an option. have a prompt. So let's officially spin the wheel and see what our next read is gonna be. Ooh, we got a purple spot, so a book with an odd number of pages. So I think I'm gonna go with The Clinic by Kate Quinn. I'm actually so excited because I have started this book in the past and was honestly really enjoying it. So I'm excited to pick it back up. I think I only set it down because my loan expired and I really wanted to listen to the audiobook for it and have my own copy because I didn't at the time. Either way, I'm excited to dive back into this because it seems so juicy. But essentially this is about Meg, and she works in a casino in LA, but she struggles with a little bit of a pill addiction, and her sister is this famous actress who ended up going to rehab and then passing away, and everyone's saying that she killed herself, but her sister Meg is like, no, something's up, so I'm gonna go undercover, I'm gonna get in there, infiltrate this place, and try to figure out what actually happened to my sister. However, because she is struggling with her addiction, being there is definitely complicated and things are starting to unravel. I'm just really excited to dive back into this. I feel like none of the books I'm picking are very like spring vibe. Well, this one was like secretly summer, so it's something. But either way, I'm excited to dive back into this and see what's going on and uncover the madness behind her sister's death. So let's dive in and I will update you when I have some thoughts. I'm exactly 50% of the way through The Clinic, loving this. I honestly really enjoy following Meg as a main character because she's so spicy and fiery and I absolutely love it. I'm totally shipping her and Harry, and I'm gonna be so upset if there's anything wrong with Harry. I will literally cry because I don't know what it is. Like normally in a thriller, I mean, some thrillers do have like a romance subplot and I'm loving it, but I don't necessarily care if there needs to be one. But I'm actually just like really enjoying Harry's and her dynamic. Harry just gets her. I think I'm finally passing the point that I passed when I first picked up this book because I actually got a lot farther than I had realized. But I'm so excited to continue this. I'm definitely finishing this probably in the next couple hours with the speed that I'm trucking through this, because I'm definitely looking forward to finding out what's going on at this rehab facility because it is so sketchy and I have so many thoughts, but like I know I'm probably not going to be right about any of them in this book because there's just so much going on and there's so many dodgy people that I actually genuinely, I mean, I have some ideas of like who's gonna be at least loosely tied in, but I'm wondering how much of a part they're gonna play. And there's definitely a couple characters that I feel like you don't think that you should suspect, but maybe I do, but I could totally be wrong. So I'm just gonna wait and see, and I'll let you know if I'm right or wrong, but that's all I wanna say because I definitely don't wanna give anything away about this, but I really enjoy it. I feel like the only thing is I wish we got some more like atmosphere because this is set on the Pacific Northwest coast. And I think it would have been so gorgeous if we had some really rich nature descriptions and I felt like I was there. I mean, definitely I'm getting a clear view of the rehab facility, just I guess by the movements of the people more than the descriptions. However, I wish that, like I said, we got some more atmosphere. But honestly, who knows, because we still have half of the book left. And then I quickly wanted to try something with you guys. So I went to the grocery store a little earlier today and I found this banana cream Olipop, which is so intriguing to me. Like this could be a serious secret weapon or it could be a toxic nasty fluid. So I don't know which one. Let's give it a try. I'm really excited, but also so nervous. Here goes nothing. It smells really good. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this one actually. I'm not tasting as much cream. I'm tasting definitely pure banana. but it's not bad. I just don't know if I like love it. I'm gonna have to drink that and see how I feel a little later, but I thought that was really fun. And then my plans for finishing the rest of the book, I really am in the mood to do some knitting, and I've been making the most random thing. I've been knitting these little basket weave squares as like coasters, and I want to make different ones for different vibes. I definitely want to make some summery ones, which I feel like this is perfect for, but also perfect for the spring. And I want to make different ones. And I do also have like the round needles, so I might give that a shot and do some round ones as well. But I'm actually liking the square ones, and these actually look kind of cute when you put the drink on it. I thought it was going to look really weird, but it actually looks cute. But I had so much fun making these, and it's just the most random thing. Like, my favorite thing to knit is scarves, and I've gotten pretty good and been able to do different stitches with them, and I'm really excited to do some more for the fall. So I also might get started on some scarves, but I've been having really good time just quickly busting out some coasters, so I thought that would be fun. And then my friend said they wanted some, so I'm gonna make some for them as well, and I'm just really excited. So that's what I'm gonna be doing while I finish up the clinic. And I don't know if we're gonna spin the wheel now because it is getting later, but we are almost halfway through the readathon, so I'll definitely be finishing it up tomorrow at some point. I'm gonna definitely read as much and try to get way past the halfway point tonight, and I'm not that tired, so I feel like I can stay up and rally pretty late. But either way, it has to be done by tomorrow because I'm going on a trip on Saturday, and I'm so excited about it. I will definitely be vlogging that. I'll do a cute little weekend vlog and maybe mood read and stuff like that. That's kind of the plan. So I definitely need to get this rolling, but I feel like I made some really good progress today. I didn't read as much as I wanted to last night, but I did start the 24 late, and I knew I wasn't gonna read a ton. I knew that today and tomorrow were gonna be like my main reading days, but I feel like I'm making really good progress. Like, we already got 2 books knocked off. We're well on our way to finishing a 3rd, and I'm feeling good about it, and I'm having the best time. And I honestly needed it because I was needing a little bit of a media cleanse, and this is forcing me to just focus on reading and spend time doing that and just like be present in the moment instead of scrolling on my phone, which was honestly hurting my poor little brain. And for me, that's why I love doing the timer method, because I'm literally reading for 24 hours. Sometimes I end up reading a little bit over and I finish way more books. And I feel like that's just such a fun way to do it. I obviously love the just doing straight through, but I actually don't feel like you get as much reading done, and then you're not as rested. I feel like when I do the timer method, I finish like 7, 8 books sometimes. So I love doing it that way because you're literally reading for 24 hours. And for me, I like want to do it as fast as possible. So I'm pushing myself each day and just like really focusing on my reading. Anyways, little side rant over, but I'm gonna get back to reading the clinic. I'm actually just having the best time, and I'm gonna do some knitting, and I'm gonna just chill out and see how I feel about this banana cream olipop. Still, I don't think it's my favorite. Well, actually, I took a little break and I had to watch a YouTube video because I was just having a moment after finishing this book. I really enjoyed the ending. It was so good. It was so juicy. There was so many reveals, but it wasn't like too many reveals. I feel like the reveals that happened, like maybe you could guess a part of it, but at least for me, even though I had questions about things that maybe have happened, I still didn't expect it to happen in the way that it did, and there was still so much about it that like was so unexpected. And also it was just good. It was really, really good. This book, I love it. And I think the thing that I really enjoyed about it too is simply for the fact too that the author writes in an author's note that this is the first book that she's written sober. And that's a huge deal for her because she talks about in the author's note kind of using alcohol in her creative process of writing. And so for her to have gone to rehab and gone through that struggle, come out the other side, and then to write a book, I feel like that's impactful in itself, and I feel like it's such a strong voice to really discuss what the experience is like. Hopefully that makes sense. It's kind of like crazy hours right now, so hopefully anything I said, I don't know, I'm not coherent right now. So either way, I finished the clinic, really enjoyed it, and I took forever. Like, this is part of me just being like overtired. I like zoned out on my yarn so hardcore. I did end up picking out this gorgeous, I don't even know what color you would call it. It's almost leaning towards a turquoise, but it's like also really bright blue. Bright blue. I can't even talk, but I do feel like it looks a little different on camera. Either way, hopefully I can start this tonight. If I don't, I'm definitely gonna do some of this tomorrow. I'm literally delirious, but we are gonna persevere because I have exactly 14 hours left, and I think it took about 4.5 hours, and these things, oh my god, I can't talk. The times that I'm giving are general estimates. I'm gonna spin the wheel and pick out my next book because I, like I said, want to push through as much as I can. We have 14 hours left, and I would like to get down to maybe like 11, 10, I don't know, and I feel like I can knock out the rest super easy. And I definitely want to have a book too that I can just like pick up right in the morning. So that's the plan. Let's get the wheel and we'll spin. Not gonna lie, I just stared off into space for several minutes, so we'll genuinely see how far I get. I feel like I can't talk. I feel like I'm gonna fall asleep reading within like 10 minutes, but I'm gonna try so hard not to. And it's so funny because like I have insomnia, but the second it's my choice to stay up, that's when it's game over. But any other night I like can't go to sleep to save my life. But the second I do a 24, it's game over. And I'm like, seriously, I should be able to rally like the best of them. But for some reason, it's like just the fact that I'm trying to do something so annoying. But either way, let's spin the wheel. Just slam that against my knee. Wow, we're really falling apart over here. Okay. Book you've avoided. Wow. What a book to choose at like 1 a.m. I literally went to an alternate universe for the past like 40 minutes. I could not even think straight. I'm so tired, but we're gonna rally. I promise we're gonna rally. I decided to go with Just the Nicest Couple by, I'm not even gonna do authors' names right now. That's just not even a real thing. But either way, this has literally been on my TBR forever, and it's not because I don't want to read it, because I really want to read it. I need to pick it up and stop avoiding it, because I literally have been looking at it recently too a ton of times, and I'm like, I don't want to pick that up, but like it's been on my TBR for so long, so maybe I shouldn't pick that up right now because I feel like there's so many good things that are coming out, and then once something sits on your TBR for a while, it's not that I don't want to read it, but then I just get like so excited about the new things, and I get so excited about my library books and so excited about laying our fluffy heads on our fluffy, we're gonna put our heads on the fluffy pillow. See, I can't even put our heads on the fluffy pillow. That sounds so amazing right now. I don't know what happened to my clips when I updated you on Just the Nicest Couple, but I thought I would just hop on and give you just a brief update. I had an amazing time. I'm not sure what my rating's gonna be, but probably like a 4.5, maybe even a 4.75. It was definitely a good old domestic thriller, but I had such a good time with it. I love Mary's writing style, and I feel like she writes such good thrillers. I think they're really fun, they're really fast-paced and enjoyable, and it was just such a good book to binge. I literally binged that in one sitting, and I had the best time listening to it. So I definitely recommend Just the Nicest Couple. I feel like it's been out for a few years, so probably most everyone's read it. I have just stared at it sitting on my shelf waiting for the right time, as I always do, which is so annoying. But either way, I'm glad that I finally read it, and it was the perfect book to read in a 24. And it's not even that it was like that crazy, it was just fun. Like, that's the way I would explain it. It was just fun. There were some shocking moments, but it wasn't like the most shocking thriller ever. It was just a solid domestic thriller, and I honestly enjoy domestic thrillers. I know not everyone does, and if you don't, I wouldn't necessarily pick this one up, but I'm probably the last to read it anyway, so you all have probably already read it, but I finally got to it, and I'm so happy I did. So back to the regularly scheduled programming. I just wanted to hop in, update you really quickly on this book because I genuinely have no idea. It vanished into a black hole or something, I swear. I'm at this gorgeous park by the water, and I thought this would be the perfect spot to read a little bit of Watermoon. I'm hoping I can get at least like 20-30 minutes in and make a good dent in it because I only have a couple hours left of the readathon, so I'm gonna crack this bad boy open and see how far we get. genuinely have so much to update you on. So the last few days have been absolute madness. I did indeed finish the readathon with 2 minutes and 14 seconds to spare. I thought I was going to have some of my book left, but I actually had 2 minutes left. So I just read a couple pages of Scarred by Emily McIntyre because that was on my TBR. So I thought, why not just get a few pages of that book knocked off? But as for the craziness of the last few days, I had to book it down to my grandma's house. She's in her 80s. She had to move last minute, and we had to help her move off this property that has been in our family my entire life and then some. So it is a very emotional experience. I actually am going to have a vlog detailing it a little bit more, taking you through the property, and also just a few other really big changes that are happening right now. As for reading updates, I did end up finishing Amid Clouds and Bones by Ella Fields. I'm not even sure exactly my thoughts on this book, but I will say that I did enjoy chunks of it. I think that there was definite lags for me at certain points. Definitely did feel like a roller coaster. Like, I really enjoyed the beginning and then it kind of dipped a little bit and I wasn't sure where it was going, if I was going to enjoy it, and then it dipped back up and then I started really enjoying it and then dipped a little bit and then it went back up towards the end and I really enjoyed the ending. And I definitely felt that way about the spice scenes as well. Like, it was very up and down and I wasn't sure how I felt about that, especially like the first scene. It was, I don't know. It was just, I just don't even have any words for it. But I did, like I said, enjoy moments of the plot and I did think it was really interesting. And there was definitely moments where I was pretty invested and it was hitting and I was very curious about like where things are gonna go. So I think it was like a pretty good book. It just wasn't a great book for me personally, but I still did really enjoy it, if that makes any sense. I feel like my feelings are so confusing about it. I feel like I don't know how to explain this in a way that's not confusing. So that's Amid Clouds and Bones. And then I also read Watermoon, which I know a lot of people weren't loving. I did really enjoy it. I think it was just really slow pace. Like, this is a book where I wish I hadn't finished it. I mean, I was a good chunk of the way through and I'm glad I knocked it off, but at the same time, I kind of wish I had just read it in a video where I could even take a slower time with it, because there was definite moments that I really loved and there was quite a few things that I did annotate, like not a huge chunk, but I did really like certain aspects of it. I really liked the concept. I thought the world was really interesting and it was fun to try to imagine it because some of it was just like not how our world would work. So I thought that was so interesting to, like, even more than I feel like a regular fantasy. It was really nice to try to like wrap my head around what that world would mean, and I could actually visualize it pretty well. I think the author did a really good job of painting the picture of the way that this world worked. I mean, there's definite moments where I had to take a second. I'm like, wait, what? But once I had thought about it, it was just really fascinating. I don't know. I really loved the concept. I think there were certain things that made certain moments very like tense and I was wondering like what was going to happen. But I will say it definitely was not consistent in pace, because there were moments where it felt a lot more fast-paced and then other moments where it truly did feel like it kind of dragged a little bit. I did overall really enjoy this book, and like I said, I feel like this is a book that's just kind of nice to read here and there, take your time with, think about, process, and yeah, it's just not a book to rush. It's not a book to rush. It's not a book you should pick up if you're looking for something to fly through. It's definitely something that's a little bit meandering in a way, and not in a bad way. Like, I don't even mean that in a bad way at all. I actually kind of mean it in a good way, because I think that there's a time and a place and definitely a mood, at least for me, where I actually really enjoy books like that. Just really enjoy taking my time and slowly processing through a story like this. And this is definitely something, like I said, that I really did enjoy. I think the only reason why I even felt lags at certain points actually didn't even have to do with the story. It more had to do with the pace in which I was trying to read the story. And like I said, I definitely think some books are binging books and some books are truly books that are good to read here and there at the right time and place. At least that's how I feel. So that's kind of what I feel overall about Watermoon. But I did genuinely enjoy this book, and I did really like the concept. I liked the atmosphere of this world, and it was just really intriguing. It was definitely different than anything that I've read personally, and so I really enjoyed it for that too. It was something new, something fresh, and that was really fun. So those are the two books that I ended up finishing at the end of the readathon. I had a lot of fun. It definitely got thrown at the end, which was unfortunate, but I would definitely be doing more of these. I love doing a good old 24-hour readathon, so we will have all sorts of 24s, I'm sure. Some more chaotic ones, some hopefully that will go smoothly at some point, and we'll just do different versions, try different things. I did love incorporating the spinner wheel, though. That will definitely be coming back at some point because I think that was such a fun way to finish it, and we did get quite a few books read in this readathon, so I'm really happy with this. I genuinely had a good time with everything that I read. There was not anything that I didn't like altogether, and I think that is such a win in itself. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please let me know if you've read any of these books, what your thoughts are. I would love to know in the comments down below, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.